Hello, everyone. Charline Savoie here from East Coast Holistic Events. We're happy to be bringing to you our first Irishtown Holistic Fair on Sunday, September 29th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Irishtown Community Center, which is located approximately 15 minutes from Moncton. We have a wide variety of vendors for you, ranging from alternative medicine, energy healers, holistic products for you, your home, and even your pets, delicious foods, artists of various genres, and intuitive readers. Today I have the pleasure of having with me Greg Lemoine from Heartfully Yours Crystal Boutiques. Welcome, Greg.
Thanks for having me.
Well,
We're looking forward to participating in the fair.
well, we're really excited that you're going to be there with all your lovely crystals, which we see some of them behind you. So that's exciting. And also your great energy that's there. So what inspired you to sell crystals? How did you get into that?
Uh, well, it was kind of, I guess, serendipitous. It wasn't planned. I was had a brief stint selling crystals wholesale, and then I was looking for some stones to help with the healing work that I was doing, and ended up traveling all through the Maritimes and as far as Quebec City, actually trying to find what I needed, and wasn't able to find any of it. And so I started trying to source myself. And then as I brought things in for the work I was doing, other people kept saying, oh, I want to buy that. And so I was losing everything I was bringing in. So I decided it would be easier to just start. There was a market, and so start to bring in the stones. And I'll enjoy working with the stones. I mean, I was one of those kids that always went around collecting on the beach when I was little. So there's something about them. There's something that, it's interesting to watch as kids come in. Their hearts are open and they just touch. And then you've got often the adults come in and the mental helicopters just going woo, woo. They've got their list. I've got these list of things, or I need to. And so, yeah, it's interesting to see adults when they can get back into the heart space and reconnect with the inner child, and look at it from that perspective rather than the mental helicopter.
Yeah, right. I find often I love crystals and I do have some, and I find most of the time I'm attracted to a certain one. I don't
Mhm.
really understand why, but sometimes I am, and I just go with that. I don't know, is that the best way to be?
I think we when we can be present in our body, and when we're listening within, then absolutely that's the best way to know what you're being called to, rather than the books. I mean, the books are like a recipe, but if you and I were to both kind of take a recipe and go and make lasagna, we'd probably make changes to the recipe just as I would, because we have preferences, we're different. And so likewise with the stones, it may recommend, these 6 or 8 stones for example, physical pain. But at the end of the day, some of them are so rare that you're never going to find them. And your journey to that diagnosis, that label of chronic pain or whatever, physical pain, may have been very different. And so for somebody, it may be more physiological. For somebody else, it may be childhood trauma. And so different stones, even outside of the list that people suggest, might be even more beneficial. So absolutely an intuitive kind of what resonates with you, and what you feel called to is ideal. And likewise, when you're choosing for a friend, not assuming, oh, they've got anxiety or they've got this, going about the room with, you know, centered in your heart, and what you know about them, and then choosing from that place. Or we can provide you some intuitive guidance in that respect as well.
Of course,
But
because
absolutely.
you're very knowledgeable in that. How many years have you been doing this so far now? It's quite a long time.
Yeah, this is we're just coming up on the end of the 8th year. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's great. And what's unique? What would you say is unique about your boutique?
We have well over 400 different varieties of stone here.
Wow.
So probably one of the biggest selections that you're going to find in Eastern Canada. We've got them all sorted by chakra, so that it's easy to, so they're grouped, if you will, by the chakra for the most part. We have cards out as well with a description of what others have said the properties are. Everything's spread out at a good height for browsing for the most part. We typically will hand select what we're selling rather than just ordering blindly. We do our best also to ethically source the stones, so we don't buy a lot from China, for example, which does not have a very good environmental record. Although there are some stones that are only available there. So we offer intuitive guidance, as I mentioned earlier, if you're trying to buy something for yourself or for someone else. We also we take all forms of payment, of course, but we offer 5% discount if you pay cash retransfer. Just you're saving us having to pay the fees to the big banks, and so we give them back to you as a thank you.
I love that. The cash is king, right?
Well, use it or lose it, right?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
we also support a lot of local artisans. So the art here, as well as all the jewelry, the pendulums, all locally made, rather than getting some of the stuff that's made overseas in sweatshops. Yeah, we also have smudge wands that are locally made. We source our sage from First Nations fellow up in northern New Brunswick. What else? We're a bit different in the terms of not being your typical kind of retail store, because we also have the healing center, our services co-located. And so our hours change regularly, but we do update them on Facebook and as well as on Google Maps every week. But we do offer appointments as well, which I think, the building, there's no access to the public after hours, but we do have a bell that can be rung. So it's just for convenience purposes. We do appointments for after hours or between clients, for example. I can't post that we're going to be open, from 11 till 1, and then again from 3 till 4, and then again so I'll usually post sometime on the day, and then we use appointments to work around the other services because we don't have the boutique open when we're offering services.
Of course. So yeah, so you do offer services as well, as you're saying. So what kind of services do you offer exactly?
That's a good question. I would call it spiritual healing. I don't. I've been doing this for just under 20 years now, and
Oh, wow.
it's morphed
Yeah.
over the years. I do have a background as a professional background as a counselor, but I would call it holistic in terms of using not just the counseling and working off the body, but also working on the body, using what I would call kind of acupressure with the body. And so it's not something that I can describe. It's not something that I can put a label on. There's no technique that I can say, this is what I do. This is, and I've asked people over the last decade, almost 2 decades. So tell me what I could tell people. You've been on the table. What would you tell people? How would you describe it? And yeah, I'm still waiting for an answer that I can use. So it's just people just say, well, they just have to come and experience it. But my calling, I would say, is to work with the deeper stuff. So over the years, I've had a lot of people with chronic pain issues, traumatic childhoods, who really are stuck, if you will, in terms of their kind of in that mental hamster wheel of not being able to break out of a cycle. So that's kind of, and yeah, I think we often are the people that we can learn from as clients, and the people that we have things to offer for are the ones that come, right?
Of course. And if I may use a suggestion, you're following your intuitive guidance, you're channeling your healings so that it's not the same with everybody. I'm sure they change as the person comes in. So you're
Yeah,
just following their guidance.
right. And I hadn't, I mean, I never imagined having a crystal shop or a, a healing center. And in fact, I mean, I'm just the public face. There's a community of people who support this work. Um, Many of them are kind of hidden behind the scenes. But I went through a process. You know, I was working for the government and was in management, had a really good paying job, and then had a car accident while I was on duty, and was disabled for almost 3 years. And it was through, I guess, if you will, that spiritual blessing or gift that I left the government and left behind kind of that security, and also um, came to the realization that it was not aligned with who I truly was. It was in many ways a mask. Um, and then had spiritual experiences, visitation, if you will, that really helped as part of my own healing journey. And so modern Western medicine had nothing to offer. They told me that I wouldn't recover. And so I was in my 30s at that time and couldn't even hold a pen to sign my name. So it was through a spiritual process, spiritual healing, and a number of alternative methods of healing that I was able to recover use of the body. And I was guided to, I guess, as a way of service or offering to do healing work. So yeah, that's where it is.
Yeah, often a lot of us, that's how we get into it starts with our own healing and
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
transform into sharing what we've learned through that with
Hmm.
others. So that's a wonderful, it becomes a gift. Of course, when we're going through it, it doesn't feel like a gift, but that's where it takes us. So it's all good. So where are
Yes.
you located, Greg? If somebody wants to get in touch with you, and where are you located? I know you're in Moncton. Um,
Yes.
okay, let's start with that. Where are you located?
We're at 96 Norwood Avenue, Suite 300. So that's in the ABC Business Center. We don't have, there's no outside signage, but I usually do have a little sandwich board out on the sidewalk when the boutique is open. And that's Norwood Avenue is off of Mountain Road. It's very central between High Street and Von Harvey, right across from Heinz Restaurant. And I think St. Augustine's Church is right on the corner there. So very easy to find. We also have, we're on Google Maps as well. So there's pictures there of the boutique you can check out. And we have our Facebook pages for
Okay,
both.
so and your Facebook link and page is on our vendors directory if people want to
Awesome.
go visit that. It's for you, it's East Coast Holistic Events.ca if you're looking for more information about the holistic fair. Also, I should say that the admission is free, so that's not an excuse to, you can come and visit all these wonderful vendors. And be sure to check out Greg's boutique. I've been there myself, and just the wonderful energy of the crystals, and of course the wonderful energy of Greg himself, because he's always uplifting, and he always has a little joke or a little song to sing sometimes. So it's always cool. So I'm hoping that you come and check us out at the Irishtown Holistic Fair. Drop by Greg's booth to say hi and to look at what he's having. And make sure to check out our directory and see if there's other things that interest you. Bring your friends. There's going to be some delicious food there as well. We have a food truck that's going to be outside. So I'm hoping that you will come by and check us out on Sunday, September 29th. So thank you very much, Greg, for being on this YouTube video with me. It was great to have you, and I wish you best of luck with your boutique.
Thank you. And Charlene, we'll have our Crystal Wheel of Fortune there,
Oh,
offering
cool.
some really deep discounts on stones. So it's a carousel that you spin, and the
Oh, wow.
discount will be in the little seat on the carousel. So we'll be offering some really good savings that you wouldn't typically find at the boutique, even at, say, for example, Christmas time or Mother's Day. So
Oh,
come along and spin the Wheel of Crystal Fortune, and yeah.
yeah. Great. I'm so glad that you said that. I'll have to go check that out myself. Okay, great. Thank you,
All
Greg.
right. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. We'll see you there.
Yeah, bye-bye.